There comes a moment in life when everything feels like it's shifting beneath your feet. The places that once felt comfortable suddenly feel tight, like clothes you've outgrown. The conversations around you no longer inspire you. The dreams that once satisfied you now feel too small. If you're experiencing this right now, you might be in the middle of what many people call a divine relocation, a powerful spiritual shift where life begins moving you away from where you were and toward where you truly belong. Many chosen individuals experience this phase as confusion at first. You might lose opportunities that you once prayed for. Doors that once seemed open suddenly slam shut without explanation. At first, it can feel painful, almost like betrayal from the universe. But sometimes what feels like rejection is actually protection. Sometimes what feels like loss is actually divine direction. Think about a bird learning to fly. The nest was once its safe place, but eventually the nest becomes too small for its wings. Life gently, or sometimes forcefully, pushes the bird into the air so it can discover the sky. In the same way, your current discomfort might be the very sign that your soul is ready for a new altitude. If this message resonates with you, pause for a moment and reflect. Have you felt like your environment no longer matches the person you are becoming? If so, comment, "I'm ready for my divine relocation." On this channel, Mirror of the Soul, we explore these powerful spiritual awakenings together, helping each other understand the deeper meaning behind life's mysterious transitions. And before we continue, take a second to like this video and subscribe to Mirror of the Soul. You never know who might need to hear this message today, and your support helps these words reach the souls who are searching for clarity. One of the most misunderstood parts of spiritual growth is relocation. People often believe that if something is meant for them, it should remain comfortable and easy forever. But growth rarely happens in comfort zones. In fact, comfort zones are often the very places that prevent destiny from unfolding. Many chosen individuals find themselves leaving environments they once loved, jobs, friendships, cities, or even long-standing routines. This doesn't necessarily mean those places were bad. Sometimes they served their purpose perfectly for a season. But seasons change, and when they do, the soul begins to feel restless. Imagine trying to plant a seed in soil that no longer has nutrients. Even the healthiest seed cannot grow there forever. Eventually, it must be moved to new ground where its roots can expand. In the same way, your spirit may be calling you toward a new environment that can support the next stage of your life. Some of you watching this might already be feeling that pull. Maybe you're sensing that your current surroundings no longer align with your vision or your energy. Have you ever felt like you're meant for something bigger, but you don't yet know where it is? If so, share your experience in the comments below. Your story could inspire someone else who is going through the same shift. Sometimes divine relocation begins quietly, long before we consciously recognize it. The signs appear slowly, almost like whispers. A sudden loss of interest in old habits, a growing curiosity about new opportunities, an inner voice telling you that something in your life needs to change. You may also notice that certain relationships begin to fade naturally. Conversations that once flowed effortlessly now feel forced. It's not necessarily conflict, it's simply that your paths are evolving in different directions. This can feel sad at first, but it's often a sign that your spirit is expanding beyond old limitations. Another powerful sign is repeated obstacles. When something truly isn't aligned with your purpose anymore, life has a way of blocking it again and again. You may try to force it, but nothing seems to work. These moments can be frustrating, but they are often divine signals guiding you toward a better path. Think about how rivers flow. When a rock blocks the current, the water doesn't stop, it simply changes direction. In the same way, your life may be redirecting itself toward a path you haven't yet imagined. One of the hardest truths about divine relocation is that it often begins with endings. A job you expected to keep disappears. A relationship you believed would last forever changes direction. A plan you carefully designed suddenly falls apart. At first, these moments can feel devastating. You may question everything, your decisions, your worth, even your faith. But sometimes life must remove what is familiar so that something greater can take its place. History is full of examples of people who experienced these moments. Many successful individuals faced rejection before discovering their true calling. What looked like failure at the time was actually preparation for something much bigger. Think about the times in your own life when something ended unexpectedly. Looking back now, did that ending lead you towards something better? Often we only understand divine timing after the journey unfolds. If you're currently experiencing closed doors, take a deep breath. You might not be losing your path. You might be being redirected to the place where you truly belong. There is a moment in every chosen one's journey when the environment that once nurtured them suddenly feels unfamiliar. It's not that the place has changed dramatically, it's that you have changed. Your thoughts are evolving, your awareness is expanding, and your soul is waking up to possibilities that once seemed invisible. What used to inspire you now feels ordinary. What used to excite you now feels limiting. This isn't a sign that something is wrong with you. In fact, it's often proof that something inside you is awakening. Growth always creates friction with the past. Imagine a tree growing taller every year. The pot that once held the small plant eventually becomes too small for its roots. If the tree remains trapped in that pot, its growth stops. But when it is planted in open soil, its roots expand freely, and it becomes stronger than ever. In the same way, divine relocation is often the process of moving you into the soil where your destiny can truly grow. You may notice subtle signs. Maybe your interests are changing. You might find yourself drawn toward deeper conversations about purpose, spirituality, and meaning rather than superficial topics. Activities that once filled your schedule may now feel empty. The places you go may suddenly feel heavy or draining. These emotional signals are not random. They are clues that your soul is guiding you toward a different environment. Some people misunderstand this stage and assume they are becoming distant or disconnected. But what is really happening is alignment. Your spirit is recalibrating itself, seeking places, people, and opportunities that resonate with your new level of awareness. It's like a radio tuning into a new frequency. When the frequency changes, the old signals fade away. One of the most emotional parts of divine relocation is realizing that not everyone in your life will travel with you into your next chapter. This realization can feel heartbreaking because many of these people were once important in your journey. They may have supported you during difficult moments or shared meaningful memories with you. But life operates in seasons, and sometimes relationships are meant for a specific stage rather than a lifetime. Think of your life as a long journey across different landscapes. Some people walk beside you for a few miles, sharing laughter and stories. Others join you for a longer stretch of the road, but very few walk with you from beginning to end. This doesn't mean those relationships were meaningless. It simply means their role in your story has been fulfilled. When divine relocation begins, your energy shifts. You begin thinking differently, dreaming differently, and seeing the world through a new lens. Some people will celebrate this transformation and grow alongside you. Others may feel uncomfortable with it. They might misunderstand your changes or even question your decisions. This happens because growth often challenges the expectations people have about who you were. The important thing to remember is that letting go doesn't always require conflict. Sometimes people simply drift apart naturally as their paths move in different directions. It's not about blame or resentment. It's about honoring the reality that life is constantly evolving. Divine relocation often requires a level of courage that many people underestimate. It's easy to stay where things are familiar, even if they no longer feel right. Familiarity provides a sense of safety, even when it limits growth. But stepping into a new chapter means embracing uncertainty, and that takes strength. Imagine standing at the edge of a bridge that leads into the unknown. Behind you is everything you recognize: your routines, your habits, your comfort zone. Ahead of you is a path you cannot fully see. For many chosen ones, this moment feels like a leap of faith. The heart senses that something greater awaits on the other side, but the mind still fears leaving the past behind. Throughout history, many extraordinary journeys began with a similar step into the unknown. The courage to leave the familiar has often been the very thing that opened the door to new possibilities. When you move forward despite uncertainty, you demonstrate trust, not only in the future but also in the inner guidance that led you there. There will be moments when doubt whispers in your mind. You may wonder if you're making the right decision, but growth rarely feels comfortable in the beginning. Just as muscles grow stronger through resistance, the soul grows stronger through courageous choices. One of the most confusing stages of divine relocation is the period of isolation that often appears before the next chapter begins. Many chosen ones experience a phase where they feel temporarily disconnected from their usual social circles or environments. At first, this can feel lonely, almost as if life has placed you in a quiet waiting room. But what many people don't realize is that isolation is often preparation. It's a sacred pause that allows you to reflect, heal, and realign with your purpose. When the noise of the outside world fades, you finally have space to hear your own inner voice more clearly. During this time, you might begin developing new habits or interests. Perhaps you spend more time reading, learning, reflecting, or focusing on personal growth. These moments may seem small, but they are often shaping the person you are becoming. The solitude is not punishment. It is a workshop where your future self is quietly being built. Nature offers a beautiful example of this process. Before a butterfly emerges, it spends time inside a cocoon. From the outside, the cocoon appears silent and inactive, but inside a profound transformation is taking place. The butterfly is being formed, preparing for the moment when it will finally spread its wings. Before any physical relocation happens, there is almost always an energetic shift that takes place deep within you. It begins quietly. You may wake up one day with a feeling that something in your life is changing, even if you cannot explain exactly what it is. Your intuition becomes stronger. Your awareness becomes sharper. Suddenly, you begin seeing situations and people more clearly than before. This energy shift can feel strange at first. You might notice that environments that once felt comfortable now feel heavy. Conversations that once entertained you now seem empty or repetitive. It's as if your soul is tuning into a new frequency, and anything that doesn't match that frequency becomes difficult to tolerate. Many people describe this stage as feeling like they are outgrowing their old life. It's similar to when a student completes one level of school and prepares for the next. The old classroom served its purpose, but staying there forever would prevent growth. In the same way, the spiritual energy within you may be preparing you for the next stage of your journey. Sometimes this shift shows up through new ideas and dreams. You begin imagining possibilities that never crossed your mind before. Perhaps you feel inspired to pursue a different career, explore new creative passions, or connect with people who share your deeper values. Every destiny requires the right environment to flourish. Just as a plant needs sunlight, water, and fertile soil to grow, your purpose also needs the right conditions to unfold. Sometimes the place where you started simply cannot support the person you are becoming. There are countless examples of individuals who had to leave familiar surroundings before discovering their true potential. Many innovators, artists, and leaders only found their path after stepping outside of environments that limited their growth. The new environment gave them the space to explore their ideas and talents freely. Your environment influences your mindset more than you might realize. The people you interact with, the conversations you hear, and the energy surrounding you all shape the way you think. If you remain in an environment that constantly discourages your vision, it becomes extremely difficult to pursue your dreams. Divine relocation often places you in spaces where your gifts can be recognized and developed. It might introduce you to mentors, collaborators, or opportunities that simply didn't exist in your previous environment. What once felt like an impossible dream suddenly becomes achievable because you are surrounded by the right support. One of the most beautiful surprises about divine relocation is the opportunities that appear once you take the step forward. At first, leaving your comfort zone may feel frightening, but once you embrace the change, life often begins presenting possibilities that you never imagined before. Many people describe this stage as if doors begin opening almost magically. You meet individuals who inspire you. New ideas begin flowing into your mind. Opportunities appear that align perfectly with your talents and passions. It's as if the universe was waiting for you to move before revealing the next chapter. Think about how rivers work in nature. When water flows freely, it eventually reaches fertile land where life begins to flourish. But when the water is blocked, it stagnates. In the same way, when you allow yourself to move forward instead of remaining stuck, new possibilities begin flowing into your life. These opportunities are not always dramatic or immediate. Sometimes they appear as small moments, an inspiring conversation, a chance meeting, or a new idea that sparks excitement in your heart. Over time, these small moments connect together to form the path that leads you toward your purpose. One of the most challenging aspects of divine relocation is learning to trust the journey even when the destination is unclear. Human nature often craves certainty. We want to know exactly where we are going and how everything will unfold. But spiritual growth rarely works that way. Imagine walking through a forest at night with only a small lantern. The lantern doesn't illuminate the entire path ahead. It only lights the next few steps. Yet those few steps are enough to keep you moving forward. As you continue walking, the path slowly reveals itself. Life works in a similar way. You may not have a complete map of your future, but the inner guidance you feel is like that lantern. It shows you just enough to take the next step. Over time, those steps create a journey that leads you exactly where you need to be. Trusting the path doesn't mean you won't experience moments of doubt. Everyone faces uncertainty at times, but faith is the decision to keep moving forward even when the entire picture isn't visible yet. It is believing that every step is guiding you closer to your true place in the world. Whenever a major transformation is about to happen in your life, fear almost always appears first. Fear is the voice that whispers questions in your mind. What if this doesn't work? What if I fail? What if I regret leaving what I already have? These thoughts can feel overwhelming, especially when you are standing at the edge of a life-changing decision. But here is something powerful to remember. Fear often shows up right before a breakthrough. It appears because your mind is stepping into unfamiliar territory. Human nature prefers certainty, even if that certainty keeps you stuck in a place that no longer serves your growth. Think about the first time you learned something new, driving a car, speaking in public, or starting a new job. At the beginning, everything felt uncomfortable, but as you continued, that discomfort slowly turned into confidence. The same principle applies to spiritual relocation. The fear you feel today may simply be the doorway to a stronger version of yourself. Sometimes fear disguises itself as logic. It tells you that staying where you are is the safe option. But deep inside, your intuition may be telling you that safety is not the same as purpose. A life that is safe but unfulfilled can slowly drain your energy and passion. Letting go is one of the most difficult yet transformative steps in the journey of divine relocation. The past holds memories, emotions, and attachments that can make it hard to move forward. Even when we know something has ended, a part of us still wants to hold onto what once felt familiar. But holding onto the past can sometimes prevent new blessings from entering your life. Imagine trying to receive something new while your hands are already full. Until you release what you're holding, there is no space for anything else to arrive. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or disrespecting the experiences that shaped you. Those memories remain part of your story. They taught you lessons, strengthened your character, and helped you grow into the person you are today. But growth also requires recognizing when a chapter has been completed. Many chosen ones discover that their greatest transformation begins the moment they release their attachment to what once was. When they finally let go of old expectations, old identities, and old limitations, they create room for new possibilities that once seemed impossible. After the uncertainty and emotional transitions of divine relocation, there comes a moment when you begin to feel a deep sense of alignment. It's not always dramatic or sudden. Sometimes it appears quietly, like a feeling of peace that settles into your heart. One of the clearest signs of alignment is inner calm. Even if life is still busy or challenging, there is a sense that you are moving in the right direction. The confusion that once filled your mind slowly fades, replaced by clarity and confidence. Another sign is the presence of meaningful connections. When you are in the right environment, you often encounter people who understand your vision and encourage your growth. These connections feel natural and energizing rather than forced or draining. You may also notice that opportunities begin appearing that align perfectly with your strengths and passions. It feels as if life is cooperating with your efforts instead of resisting them. The obstacles that once blocked your path begin to dissolve, and progress becomes easier. One of the most inspiring parts of the divine relocation journey is the breakthrough that often follows the moment you finally take action. For a long time, you may have been hesitating, questioning, and wondering whether the move was truly the right decision. But once you take that step, something powerful begins to shift. Suddenly, the possibilities that once seemed distant begin moving closer. New doors open. New ideas emerge. Your confidence grows because you realize that you are capable of navigating change and uncertainty. This breakthrough is not just external, it is internal. You begin seeing yourself differently. The person who once doubted their strength now recognizes their resilience. The person who once feared change now embraces it as part of their journey. Many chosen individuals look back at this moment later in life and realize that it was the turning point that changed everything. What once felt like a risk becomes the very decision that unlocked their true potential. So if you are standing at the edge of a life-changing decision right now, remember this. The breakthrough you are waiting for might be on the other side of the step you are afraid to take. Divine relocation is not just about changing your environment, it's about becoming a new version of yourself. The challenges you faced, the fears you overcame, and the courage you embraced all converge to form a stronger, wiser, and more aligned identity. You are no longer the same person who once hesitated at the edge of change. You are someone reborn in purpose and clarity. This new identity is both liberating and empowering. You begin seeing life from a higher perspective, understanding that each setback, each obstacle was preparing you for this moment. The experiences you once resisted now serve as stepping stones, shaping your resilience and your vision. As you embrace this transformation, you'll notice your thoughts, words, and actions aligning with your higher self. You may naturally leave behind habits, people, or patterns that no longer serve your growth. This is not rejection, it is refinement. Life is sculpting you into the person who is fully capable of fulfilling your destiny. Many chosen ones describe this stage as feeling whole for the first time. It's as if every fragmented part of their journey has been woven together into a complete tapestry. The person you are becoming is fully equipped to thrive in the new environment that awaits you. When you undergo a divine relocation, your journey doesn't just impact you, it touches everyone who witnesses it. The courage you display, the breakthroughs you achieve, and the faith you maintain all serve as examples to those still navigating their own challenges. Your story becomes a beacon for others who are seeking clarity and purpose. Sharing your experience can be incredibly powerful. People often underestimate the value of their journey, believing that their struggles are too personal or insignificant to matter. But when you share honestly, your story resonates deeply with others who may be experiencing similar transitions. Even the moments of doubt, fear, or pain carry lessons that can inspire others. When someone sees that you faced uncertainty and emerged stronger, they are reminded that they too have the strength to navigate change. Your path becomes a living testimony of divine guidance at work. Have you ever realized that someone else was motivated by your courage or your example? Think about that as you continue on your journey. Your story holds power beyond what you can imagine. Comment below if your story has inspired others. Let's celebrate that impact together. As you embrace your divine relocation, you'll begin noticing blessings that were previously hidden or inaccessible. These blessings may appear as opportunities, relationships, or moments of insight that align perfectly with your purpose. Often, the universe waits until you are ready before revealing them fully. The blessings are not always immediate or dramatic, but they are always meaningful. You may find that doors you thought were closed are now wide open. You may attract mentors, partners, or resources that perfectly match your goals. Even challenges that arise now feel different. They are opportunities rather than obstacles. Many chosen ones reflect on this stage and realize that what they once considered setbacks were actually protective measures. Life removes what no longer serves you to create space for something greater. When you enter this new chapter, you may finally recognize the wisdom in what seemed like hardship before. Take a moment to imagine the blessings waiting for you in your next chapter. Picture the opportunities, the connections, and the inner peace that comes with alignment. How will your life look once you fully embrace the divine relocation? Comment below with your vision. It could inspire someone else to take their first step forward. Chosen one, the journey you are on is sacred, guided, and unstoppable. The divine relocation you are experiencing is not random. It is orchestrated by a power far greater than any obstacle you have faced. You are being moved from where you were to where you belong, a place that aligns with your soul, your gifts, and your destiny. It may feel uncertain, challenging, or even scary at times. But every step, every closed door, every period of solitude is preparing you for something extraordinary. Trust the process. Trust your intuition. Trust that the universe, or God, is moving every piece of your life with perfect precision. Your destiny is waiting. The opportunities, the connections, and the personal growth you've been seeking are all on the other side of the move. When you fully embrace this relocation, you will recognize that every hardship, delay, and fear was part of the preparation for this incredible chapter. So here is your call to action. Step forward in faith. Release what no longer serves you. Embrace the transformation that is unfolding. Share your journey in the comments below. Your story has the power to inspire someone else who is still standing at the edge of change. And make sure to like this video, subscribe to Mirror of the Soul, and share this message with anyone who is ready to step into their destiny today. Remember, you are being moved, you are being prepared, and you are finally being positioned exactly where you are meant to be.